Hi, this is Tom Zimmerman from the EMDR podcast. I want to give a super brief introduction to a flash-like approach. And again, flash-like is this awkward stage I'm in where what I'm doing comes out of the flash technique, but is conceptualized a little bit differently. And it is my attempt to kind of put some anchors or pins down about how to do this regardless of how Flash itself evolves or changes or where it's going. So you can learn more about this at Fourblinks, FOURBLINKS.com. And again, this is a super quick introduction. It may be one of the fastest, most condensed introductions to an approach to therapy that you're likely to see. And what I want to make, the point I want to make first, is that this approach to memory resolution really is based and gets its justification, its logic, its sense, its methodology from memory reconsolidation approaches. What memory reconsolidation basically is we're going to activate a memory, and then we're going to encourage the client to have an experience that is in some way contradictory or disconfirms the expectation that's in that bad memory. So again, what you're going to see over and over and over is activation and a calm scene, calm process, calm something that that is different than whatever the information in that bad memory is. What's remarkable about this approach is that activation is very, very light. We go out of our way not to activate this memory hardly at all. We're going to barely touch it. Another thing that's different from this and say EMDR or somatic experiencing is that activation and noticing are completely separate processes. So in EMDR or somatic experiencing or many other transformational psychotherapies, noticing what you're noticing is what you've activated. So activation and noticing are very, very related. They're really just different parts of the same thing. You're going to activate the memory, and then just notice that activation. So in EMDR, the center of the EMDR road is noticing what you've activated in a lot of ways. Flash is profoundly different than that. And if you want this to work, you need to understand that. Activation and noticing are completely separate. We do not notice what we activate. We're careful to activate lightly. We're careful to put whatever we activate out of our awareness. We're going to lightly activate it, push it out of our awareness, just activate it enough to bring it into working memory. Then we're going to load up this calm scene, and all noticing is going to be in this calm scene. None of the noticing is going to be from that very light activation that we did. Another thing that you'll notice about flash-like approaches generally, and this is true in the approach that I'm introducing today, we are not staying anywhere long, right there. While you're going to see that we're going to lightly activate, we're going to push this away, we're going to load up a calm process, we are moving. This is a psychotherapy where things are moving. We are not sitting. We are not noticing anything distressing at all. And even the pleasant things we notice, we're going in and out of those things very, very quickly, very, very rapidly. So step one of the approach that I use is we're going to develop a container. And a container is where this memory lives, right? So the memory that we're going to activate needs to have a place to live. And the advantage of a container is that we can kind of glance at the memory, quickly put it in a container, and then push this container out of awareness. We can see this go until it's just a little bitty speck on the wall. And while we're pushing it away, the goal is to, again, bring it into awareness, not trigger it, not trigger that mousetrap of the amygdala, not cause a bunch of distress, not cause a bunch of things, So again, this memory is going to live in this container. It's going to live in the container, except for very, very brief periods when we're going to get it out and look at it. It's going to go right back in the container and right back out of awareness. So we need to develop a container. A container can be a vault, it can be a safe, it can be a locker, it can be anything. I encourage that it not be clear, because the idea is that if we're going to push it out of awareness and not see it, we don't want to see it in a clear container. That kind of defeats the purpose. But again, the bad memory is going to live in the container. Step 2, we develop a calm scene or a relaxing focus. That can be anything. That can be a YouTube beach video. That can be a music video that you find calming, centering, relaxing. It can be a vase of flowers on your desk. It can be a pretty picture of an ocean scene on your wall. It can be the memory of a lovely beach. It can be absolutely anything. It can be you petting your actual dog while you do this. It can be you having the memory of petting a dog or a cat or another animal while you're doing this. So again, step 1 is container. Step 2 is calm scene. Step 3, and we need step 1 and step 2 to be in place. We need to test them to make sure that they work before we get to step 3. Step 3 is where we identify the memory we're going to work on. We do not talk about it. We're just going to identify the memory. We're going to very quickly put it in a container, push it out of awareness. So step 3 is it's a identify container. It's identify container. Because if we talk about it, if the client starts to tell you a little bit about that memory, it's going to start to activate. It's going to start all these defensive processes. We do not want them to talk about what that memory is, hardly at all. Okay. Step 4. See, quick, we're not staying anywhere long. Click, click, click. Step 4, we load up the calm scene. We have the client. Once that memory was identified, it's pushed out of awareness. Step 4 is we're going to load up that calm scene, and then we're going to go in and out of the calm scene. So we're going to load up the calm scene. The client's going to be in the calm scene for about 30 seconds. However, they're not going to just be in this calm scene, noticing it and absorbing it. We're going to be bringing them in and out of the calm scene. And how do we do that? Every 5 seconds, we say the word blink. Okay, say the word blink. And when you say the word blink, the client will open their eyes. If their eyes are closed, they'll open their eyes. They'll blink 3 or 4 times very quickly. Blink, 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 blink. And then they're going to go right back into the calm scene. Okay, so even though we're in the calm scene, we are blink, 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 and blink in that calm scene, going in and out of that calm scene. And why are we going in and out of that calm scene? Again, memory reconsolidation. We're giving the nervous system over and over and over. We're introducing this experience, even though they're only sitting in it for a very few amount of seconds at a time. That is enough to ooch that memory into absolute normal memory. So we do this, we do blink, 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 right? We get to the end, and then what do? We very quickly, we're going to step 5. We're going to peek at the memory. What I say is open the door very quickly and close it on that memory. Open the door, close it. Whatever you see in this second, in this moment, in that point, in that 50 milliseconds that you're kind of opening the memory and closing it, whatever you see there that's distressing, immediately container it. So again, we're not containering the whole memory. We're containing whatever it is in this moment that has some distress. Another way to think about it is we're taking a picture of the memory, and whatever it is in that frame of just open, close, or that frame of just that instant that is distressing, that's what gets containered, pushed out of awareness. That's step 5. And then what do? We go right back into the calm scene where we do more blinks. Okay. The core of this happens between step 4 and step 5. Step four, you load up the calm scene, go in and out of that calm scene with blinks. When you get done, lightly, quickly activate the memory, container it, calm scene blinks, activation container, calm scene blinks, activation container, calm scene blinks. We do this over and over and over until the client is having trouble identifying what in that memory is distressing. And in that point, we're going to ask the client, you know, from 0 to 10, how distressing is that memory right here, right now? And the client may go, well, give me a minute. I think it may be a 1. Okay, can you identify what makes it a 1? Yeah, it just sucks that it happened. Okay, see that thought. Go into the container, push it out of your awareness. When it's out of your awareness, let me know. Good. Good, load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. Good. Go right back into the calm scene. I'm saying blink. Blink. We do this for 30 seconds, right back in. Good, we get to the end. Very quickly, open the door, close it. Whatever it is that's distressing about that memory, see it go into your container. Client says, I don't think there's anything in there distressing. Okay, good. Now that there's no distress in that memory, I'm going to have you play it in detail. Play it like a piece of video. And it's not until the distress is 0 that we do that. And then now the client's going to play the memory from the beginning. And when any distress comes, even a little bit, even if it's a 0.5, they're going to let me know on one hand, and in the same instant, they're going to be putting whatever it is that was distressing in the container. And then what do? We're going right back into our calm scene, 30 seconds in our calm scene where we're blinking every 5 seconds. And we do that until the client can play the whole memory with 0 distress. Okay, good. And guess what? That's it. It's not any more complicated than that. It is that simple.